Two Californian girls arrested for carving their initials on a Coliseum wall and taking a selfie.
American tourist fined after parking Ferrari in the middle of famous Florence Plaza.
American tourists caught pushing scooters down the Spanish Steps.
Can you believe it? And that's just scratching the surface. Today, we are counting down the top 15 of most infuriating habits of American tourists that make Europeans shake their heads in disbelief. Plus, I'll share some tips on how to avoid being that tourist. Hold on to your seats. This will be one wild, shocking, and oh-so-entertaining ride. Ready? Let's go. Let's start with habit number 1, walking, talking loudspeakers. Picture this. You're in a peaceful Parisian cafe, enjoying a quiet afternoon when suddenly, boom!
Oh my God, you guys, this croissant is amazing.
Echoes across the room. Yep, that's us Americans, turning the volume up to 11 everywhere we go. It's not just excitement, it's a habit we can't shake. Locals find this as charming as a foghorn at a yoga retreat, disruptive and, frankly, annoying. Now picture a gondola ride in Venice, gently gliding along, then...
Guys, this bridge is so bridgy. It's like the bridgiest bridge ever.
My tip? Tone it down. Match the local vibe and speak softly. It shows respect and helps you blend in. Save the enthusiasm for moments that truly call for it, like cheering at a football match or spotting a double rainbow. In Europe, less is more when it comes to volume. Habit number 2, the everyone speaks American myth. Imagine an American tourist in a charming little Italian village, speaking rapid-fire English with phrases like,
"Yo, can you hook us up with the dopest coffee spot around?"
The locals look confused, like they're trying to solve a riddle. We often assume everyone speaks English and gets our slang. It's like asking a cat to fetch. This can seem arrogant and, frankly, a bit lazy. So here's the deal. A simple,
"Excuse me, do you speak English?"
works wonders. Usually people respond with,
"I speak a little English. How can I help?"
and then proceed to speak better English than you. Learning a few basic phrases in the local language, like ciao or grazie, can open doors and hearts. It shows respect and effort, and trust me, locals appreciate it. Plus, it's kind of fun to play linguistic charades. Who knew ordering coffee could be an adventure? Now, there's an exception. At super busy tourist spots or restaurants, skip the Google Translate performance. The staff often speaks English, and they're in a rush, wanting to work efficiently. Save the linguistic gymnastics for quieter moments. Habit number 3, tipping incorrectly. We're used to tipping big back home, 20% or more for any service, even for Uber drivers. But in Europe, tipping customs are a whole different ballgame. Some countries find our generous tips extravagant, while others might think we're being stingy. So what's the scoop? Learn the local tipping customs. In many European countries, service is already included, and a small tip or rounding up the bill is appreciated. For instance, in Spain, you might leave just a euro or two, while in Germany, rounding up to the nearest euro is common. And in Scandinavian countries like Sweden, tipping is generally not practiced at all. Workers there receive fair wages, and tipping could actually weaken their salary position. No one wants to hear that they make it up in tips. Do a little research or ask a local. It shows respect. When in doubt, remember, subtlety is key in Europe. Oh, and speaking of tipping, what's the custom in your country? Do you leave a little extra or just a high five? Share your tipping tales in the comments below. Habit number 4, complaining about local differences. We love our creature comforts and familiarity, but traveling means embracing the new and different. Unfortunately, some of us just can't help but gripe when things don't match our expectations or aren't like they are back home. It's like this.
Why is this hotel room so tiny? Back home, we'd have a walk-in closet and AC that could freeze a penguin.
Making negative comparisons about local customs, services, or infrastructure can come off as rude and ungrateful. So here's the lowdown. When you're abroad, expect things to be different. That's the whole point of traveling. Embrace the quirks, like the charmingly compact hotel rooms in Paris, the leisurely service in Italy, or the beautifully ancient and sometimes temperamental public transport in Greece. It shows respect and makes your travel experience richer. Next time you're tempted to complain, take a breath, enjoy the adventure, and maybe laugh about it later. After all, isn't that what travel stories are made of? Habit number 5, risky behavior for photos. Be honest, who doesn't love a good photo op? But sometimes we take it to dangerous extremes, standing in the middle of busy streets, dangling off ledges, or hopping fences just to get the perfect shot for Instagram. Spoiler alert, a lot can go wrong. It's not just risky, but it can also be annoying on small viewing platforms. Innocent bystanders getting thwacked with selfie sticks. Nobody deserves that, and there's a reason for those bans on selfie sticks. Milan banned them in 2017 to crack down on anti-social behavior. They're also banned in all Disney parks. Amsterdam's Van Gogh Museum, the Sistine Chapel, Garoupe Beach in France, and the Colosseum in Rome. Even more concerning, A study published in the Journal of Travel Medicine uncovered 379 selfie-related deaths over the previous 13 years. So, what's the lowdown? Your safety is more important than a few extra likes. Enjoy the moment, take safe photos, and remember that no picture is worth risking your life. Plus, respecting local rules and customs shows you're a considerate traveler. Next time you're tempted to risk it all, think twice and choose a safer spot. Your followers will still love your pics, and you'll be around to take many more. All right, let's play a game. Picture this. You're strolling through the narrow streets of Venice, admiring the canals. Suddenly, an American tourist appears, struggling with a mountain of suitcases, blocking the sidewalk. You hear a thud as a wheeled suitcase gets stuck. Any guesses on the habit? Here's a hint. Do I really need 6 pairs of shoes for a weekend trip? If you guessed overpacking, you're right. We'd love to be prepared, but hauling huge amounts of luggage can be a real hassle. Overpacking slows you down and makes you that person blocking the entire sidewalk or struggling to fit into an elevator. So what's the deal? Pack light and smart. Think versatile outfits, essentials only. Remember, you can always do a little laundry on the road. Plus, lighter luggage means more room for souvenirs. Next time you're tempted to bring everything but the kitchen sink, rethink and repack. Your back will thank you, and you'll move around with ease, ready to enjoy your adventure.
Sorry to interrupt, but before we dive into the next embarrassing habit, here's a quick tip from me. If you're vibing with these travel hacks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell for more awesome advice.
And now, time for the next round. Imagine this. You're in a cozy Spanish cafe, enjoying the quiet. Suddenly, you hear an American tourist loudly exclaim,
What? This tiny portion costs how much? Back home, I'd get a plate twice the size for half the price.
Sound familiar? Any guesses on the habit? Here's a hint. It's all about comparing food portions and prices to American standards. If you guessed complaining about portions or prices, you're right. We Americans are used to big servings and lower prices. But constantly comparing and complaining can come off as disrespectful to local customs and economic conditions. So, what to do? Embrace the local dining experience. Smaller portions often mean higher quality, and prices reflect local economies. Enjoy the flavors and savor the moment, instead of comparing it to back home. Habit number 8, lumping all of Europe together. You know the type saying, I've been to Europe. After a quick tour of Paris, London, or Rome, you wouldn't say you've done America after visiting New York. So why do the same with Europe? Europe isn't a monolith. It's a patchwork of different languages, histories, and traditions. So, how to fix this? Appreciate the uniqueness of each country. Dive into the local cultures, learn a few phrases in the language, and explore beyond the tourist hotspots. Recognize that each European country has its own identity and charm. Next time you're bragging about your European adventure, remember to give credit to the individual countries and their rich, diverse cultures. It shows respect and makes your travel stories even more interesting. Habit number 9, disrespecting monuments and cultural sites. We've all seen it. Tourists behaving badly at historical landmarks, treating them like they're personal playgrounds. It's like hosting a rave in a library. Not cool, folks. Remember those 2 Californian girls who were arrested for carving their initials on a Colosseum wall? Or the American tourist who parked his Ferrari in the middle of a famous Florence plaza? These aren't just cringeworthy, they're downright disrespectful. So, how to handle it? Show some respect. When visiting these sites, take a moment to understand the significance of where you are. Read the plaques, listen to the guides, and absorb the history. It's about honoring the memory and importance of these places. Next time you're at a historical or cultural site, remember to treat it with the respect it deserves. You'll gain a deeper appreciation for the history and culture, and you'll set a good example for other travelers. Habit number 10, dressing inappropriately. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. Americans are practical and love to dress casually. We don't wear nice clothes every day. It's all about comfort. But sometimes our idea of casual just doesn't cut it abroad. I get the travel vests with all those pockets are handy, but it screams tourist the moment you step off the plane. Lucy, my French friend, always says, European fashion is more about how things fit rather than emphasizing brand names. A friend of mine recently visited Paris for the first time. She usually rocks dresses and heels, but found that in Paris, it made her stick out like a sore thumb. So what's the fix? Do a little research before you pack. Understand the local dress codes and pack accordingly. When visiting churches, cover those shoulders and knees. When dining in fancy restaurants, step it up a notch. Think more dinner party and less beach party. Next time you're planning your outfit, remember to dress respectfully. It shows you appreciate and respect the local culture, and you'll blend in much better, making your experience all the more enjoyable. Habit number 11, small talk. I know, we love to chat, but in many parts of Europe, striking up a conversation with a stranger is like trying to start a dance party in a library, awkward and unwelcome. Take France, for example. In Paris, small talk is a regional no-no. If you start chatting with a stranger, they'll probably ignore you unless you're asking for directions. In Scandinavian countries like Denmark or Sweden, you must be crazy if you are talking to strangers. Germany, occasionally some old folks might start a conversation at a bus stop, but that's about it. In Poland, small talk is rare and unusual. Hello is about as talkative as it gets on a good day. On the flip side, small talk is more common in Southern Europe, but generally Europeans are more reserved and value their personal space. So what's the takeaway? Read the room. Gauge the vibe before launching into a friendly chat. If people seem open, go for it. If not, respect their space and enjoy the silence. Your consideration will be appreciated, and you'll blend in much better with the local culture. Next time you're tempted to share your life story with a stranger, remember to keep it short and sweet. Little cultural awareness goes a long way. And hey, how is it in your country? Do you love a good chat or prefer to keep to yourself? Share your small talk stories in the comments below. Habit number 12, overemphasizing ancestral heritage. We obviously love to celebrate our roots, but sometimes we can take it a bit too far. Claiming to be 100% Greek or Irish because your great-great-grandparents were from there might not be as well received by the locals. Imagine visiting Ireland and proudly declaring, "I'm 100% Irish," only for the locals to smile politely while thinking, "Sure, but you sound more like you're from Boston." Or telling someone in Italy about your authentic Italian heritage while mispronouncing bruschetta. So how to handle it? Embrace your heritage, but don't overdo it. Show genuine interest in the local culture without making it all about your ancestral connections. Share your excitement, but remember, you're a guest exploring their home, not a long-lost native. Next time you're tempted to overemphasize your roots, keep it cool and respectful. Appreciate the culture around you, and locals will appreciate your genuine curiosity and humility. Habit number 13, impatience. We love our fast service and immediate responses, but in Europe, things tend to move at a more relaxed pace, especially in restaurants and shops. Here's a scene for you. You are sitting in a cafe in Portugal, waiting for your coffee, and you start tapping your foot impatiently. Or you're in an Italian restaurant, frustrated because your meal isn't out within 10 minutes. This kind of impatience can come across as rude and disrespectful of the local pace of life. So how do we deal with it? Embrace the slower pace. Take this time to enjoy your surroundings, have a conversation, and savor the moment. Remember, good things take time, and part of the charm of Europe is its relaxed way of life. Next time you find yourself getting frustrated with slower service, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're on vacation. Enjoy the leisurely pace, and you'll find yourself having a much richer experience. Habit number 14, talking about money. We're pretty open about discussing personal finances, salaries, and the cost of things. But in many parts of Europe, this can be seen as vulgar and inappropriate. Imagine this. You're having a conversation with someone you've just met in Italy and casually mention how much you make or how expensive your new gadget was. The room goes silent and you get some awkward glances. Talking openly about money, especially if you earn a lot, can make Europeans uncomfortable and come across as bragging or insensitive. In Austria, discussing salaries is fairly taboo. There's this unspoken rule of not telling others to avoid making them uncomfortable if you earn more. Similarly, in the Czech Republic, salaries are considered a private issue and shouldn't be discussed. It may seem odd since, back home, we often think sharing salary info helps everyone except the employer. But here it's different. So what should you do instead? Keep money matters private. Instead of discussing your finances, focus on the experience, the culture, and the people you're with. Ask about local customs, share stories, and enjoy the moment without bringing up your bank account. Quick break before number 1. If you're digging these travel hacks, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Stay tuned for the best tip yet. Habit number 15, political discussions and blame. Americans. Who doesn't love a good political debate? But diving into politics abroad can be a minefield. Engaging in political discussions where locals might criticize or blame you for your country's policies can quickly turn uncomfortable. So, and what's the best approach? Steer clear of political discussions. If the topic comes up, listen politely, but avoid getting drawn into debates. Focus on common interests and lighter topics that build connections rather than divisions. Next time you're tempted to engage in a political discussion, remember that some conversations are best left for back home. Keep things friendly and respectful, and you'll have a much more enjoyable experience. So there you have it, 15 habits that can make American tourists stand out in all the wrong ways when traveling in Europe. I think the main takeaway is that when you go on holiday to another country, you are a guest in someone else's home. Behave like one. It's sad that adults actually have to be told this,